Hey Yearbook, so I'm here today to show you how to get your photos from your camera onto our Google Drive. So let's get into it. So you're gonna take whatever camera you are using and pull the SD card out of it. What you do is you flip your camera over. On the bottom, you should see a little capsule that looks like this. If you just put your fingernail right here and open it up, you're gonna see two things. You're going to see a battery, and then you're gonna see the SD card. So all you have to do on the SD card is this little thin one. You just have to click this thin little piece of plastic and it should pop right out. Then it should look something like this. Something like this. So it might have a different number on it, but something along the lines of SanDisk, and it should have this little thing on the back of it. Then you take this and you put it into your orange flash drive that you get from me or Miss Wilkins. So I'm not gonna lie to you, this flash drive, it takes a minute of kind of finagling with it to figure out how to get this SD card into it. I have to mess with it all the time. It's okay if it takes you a couple tries. But I will tell you, it always goes in the longer of the two. Do you see how this one is longer than this one? Always put it in the longer side and mess with it any which way that you have to until you've got it. Okay, so let me mess with mine. I've gotta put my camera down. All right, so I plug it in there and it is ready to go. All right, so then I take this and I stick it into my Chromebook. So you have a couple ports on the side of your Chromebook. They look like this. And there's one over here that I conveniently have an SD card plugged into. Once my card is plugged in, my Chromebook is gonna do one of two things. In a perfect world, it's gonna give you a little notification down here that says, new file, new disk, open files. If you get that, click open files. It should be in this location right here. If you don't get that, then you have to go manually open your files. So you'll go to your main Tiger homepage and you're gonna go to this little circle in the corner right there. Click it open and you should have a tab called Files. So open the files. Then in files, you will have all these different things on the side. You wanna go to USB drive. Once you have USB drive opened, you might have more folders. Some of these have more folders than others. It kind of just depends on what's on your SD card, but typically you're going to wanna go into a folder called DCIM, and you're going to wanna find 100 Canon. Okay, easy way to remember that is DCIM, and then our cameras are called Canons. So go into the Canon file, right? I have taken a couple of pictures for us of random objects in the art room. We're going to get these random objects in the art room uploaded to our practice folders. So this is where we play with multiple tabs. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into Google and I'm going to go into EMS Yearbook. Now EMS Yearbook has that Google Drive link in it. So if I come into classwork, it's called Google Drive link. And if I open this up, I should have that folder to Yearbook. When I open this link, it's gonna be filled with all the different types of photography that we do, clubs, fall sports, student life, all kinds of different stuff. So make sure you have the folder that you want to drag these to up, open, and ready to go. So we're gonna just put them in photography practice. And I think I'm just gonna throw them into, let's do Ayla's group. All right, Ayla, you're getting 3 random photos. Okay, so then, in this file folder, what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take this tab and I'm going to minimize it so that I see both my tabs next to each other. So I should see my files with my random art room images, and then I should also see my Google Drive. So it's kind of a game of playing with 2 tabs, but I have both of my tabs open and ready to go. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna make sure I have my file folder USB drive one selected. See how I have my random images? Got 3 of them. So what I'm gonna do now to make this easier on myself, rather than going through and selecting them one by one, I'm going to hit Control A. So Control A, boom. All highlighted, ready to go, ready to drag over. So now that they're all highlighted, I'm going to click and I'm going to pull them off. See how my hand does a little grip? Has all 3 of my images. Now I'm going to drag them over to Ayla's practice folder. All right. Then it's going to upload them. So while it uploads my 3 files, I'm going to just hang out and wait. Now, it's not gonna take very long to upload 3 pictures, but when you go to an entire tennis meet and take pictures upon pictures, it might take a second. So you might just have to hang out for a minute and let it upload to the file. But once the upload is complete, then what you need to do is you need to minimize this and go back into here and make sure that you are deleting them off of this SD card so that when we put it back into our camera, we have a clean slate ready to go. The reason this is so important is because if this SD card goes to a tennis meet on Wednesday night and then goes to a football game on Thursday night, now we have to manually go through and organize those photos based on tennis versus football versus choir or whatever happened. And it's just a pain in the rear. So make sure to do a delete afterwards. I'm gonna go up to this trash can with all my items selected. I'm gonna go up to this trash can and I'm gonna delete everything on here. It's all gone, all 3 of my images. Okay, so the last thing you gotta do, now that you don't need this USB card anymore, you are going to hit this button that looks like the thing that's on DVD players that lets the discs out, if you remembered what DVD players are at this point. So click this button, this silly DVD button, click it off, and then boom, it no longer registers that this is still in your Chromebook, which is good. That's what we want. The reason we want to do that is because if we just pull it out without telling the computer that we're done with it, then it will randomly start deleting things as well, and we just don't want that. It's also really hard on our equipment and makes this process way longer for us. So be sure that we are clicking the DVD button before we are pulling this out. Then we can pull it out and we are done. And if we go back into Google Drive, we can see those 3 images. Oh, just kidding, where are they? They should be down at the bottom. There they are. We can see those 3 images from the art rooms, a beautiful drawing, a popsicle, and some Dawn dish soap. And we have them forever and ever with the rest of Ayla's photography group photos. Makes sense? If you have questions, you're always welcome to ask. But yeah, this has been a crash course on doing the SD card dump. Thanks, Yearbook.